an alcohol-producing yeast, and refrigeration, cooling the juice to the point that airborne yeasts couldn't reactivate fermentation. Welch cooked up a few batches of what he called unfermented wine, and Welch's grape juice was born. Church got just a little bit more boring. When I tell religious types that I used to work in ministry and now I work in wine, I get one of three reactions. If I'm talking to a Southern Baptist or a Pentecostal, I get squinty eyes and sharp intakes of breath, pamphlets for healing prayer groups, signs of the cross while slowly backing away. I once put out on the internet that I keep a wine journal, and an evangelical type responded, "Is that like an alcoholic's diary?" But if I tell the same thing to a Catholic or an Episcopalian, they exclaim, "Oh, that totally follows. Let me buy you a drink." If I'm talking to a Presbyterian or a Lutheran, I'm awarded a lecture about craft beer. At one of my first wine jobs, we used to call these types beardos, which works on two levels, because they have beards and are weird about beer. Yet it was their equally eccentric hero, Martin Luther, who said, "Beer is made by men, wine by God." And before lab-manufactured grape juice, 8,000 years of religious tradition around the world declared that wine was a gift of the gods. Wine was not invented or conceived of by humans. Wine was discovered. It is not unlike the first time a guy hit two rocks together in frustration, sent up a spark, smoked out everyone in the cave, and slept outside alone that night. All it takes to create wine are wild grapevines, sunlight to ripen sugars, and some peripatetic yeasts. There was probably a woman, a gatherer of wild grapes, who filled her basket to the brim and left it for a while. The grapes at the bottom were crushed by the weight, and they surrendered their juice to the yeasts wandering by and pausing on the grapeskins, which then completed their proper vocation, transforming the sugars in the juice into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Wine, you see, wanted to be found. When our sober ancestor returned to her basket after some time, the juice was bubbling and alive and strangely warm. Something had changed. It was a sticky and tantalizing blend of sweet and sour. It smelled different, it tasted different, and it felt different. When she tasted it, something changed in her. Her head felt a little lighter, her face a little warmer, her body a little freer. It was the ancient world's first mellow buzz. Wine in its rawest form isn't made. Wine happens. Here is a little playful trickery, an intoxicating accident, a miracle tripped over, an elixir that can make a laborious life just a little bit easier. It would take a long while to figure out how to make and store good wine and how to recreate the miracle consistently. But over time, the mystics, poets, and philosophers would come to celebrate wine for its ability to open the mind and free the body, to reveal the secrets of the heart, and to banish fear and worry. As the Roman poet Horace encouraged his friends, "Smooth out with wine the worries of a wrinkled brow." Is it any wonder that wine became the centerpiece of religious tables and a core symbol of heaven's love for earth that continues to this day? The ancient lyrics exult that wine gladdens the human heart and cheers both gods and mortals. At the time these wine revelations were first taking hold of me, I was leading a life that needed a tall glass of gladdening. I lived 30 miles or so east of Los Angeles, that sunny megalopolis I had once heckled from my misty northwestern perch of Seattle, and I was driving the 210 to the 605 to the 10 to nursing homes and strange neighborhoods at all hours of the day and night. I was a hospice chaplain. If you are unfamiliar, hospice is end-of-life care, a service for the terminally ill, for when the doctor throws up his hands and says, "There's nothing more I can do." And I was a chaplain, a minister working outside church walls, who showed up at death's door to listen or pray or sit quietly at grieving bedsides. For a while, I worked daytime shifts, and the sunshine illuminating my drives between nursing homes and shining in the windows of living rooms converted into dying rooms kept my spirits lighter.